Today we are going to review the new Bluelock chapter 348. This chapter is actually the second chapter of Bluelock Side B where Nagi is aiming to return to Bluelock no matter what, so first we are going to do a quick review on the previous Side B chapter. Skip ahead if you want to get straight into the new chapter. Bluelock Side B is a second program by Baratsuda to disprove Ego's strict policy. We have seen that Nagi and Kira, the guy from chapter 1 of Bluelock, are in the same quarter. We were also introduced to Hanaru Shindo, who is actually already a professional football player in the Dutch league. Now that we know the characters, let's get straight into the new chapter. The chapter begins with the explanation of the birds versus cage game. So the thing with this game is that 2 players will become the birds, and the rest of the 11 players will become the cage around them. The 11 players will pass the ball around to each other in the cage while the birds will try to take the ball from them. If they manage to get the ball from the birds, they will advance to the next stage. Only the first 3 pairs will advance, meaning 6 players from the original 13 will proceed on to the next stage of the Bluelock Side B and the rest will go home. That's enough for the explanation. So as the chapter starts, we see these 2 randos weighing if they are the cage, and a guy says that they just have to keep the ball away from the birds, and Shindo agrees with them. Trust me guys, this guy is about to cook. The first birds are Nagi and Kira, which was expected. Right as the game starts, Nagi and Kira starts running towards the other players trying to steal the ball. The ball lands on this Rin-looking guy, and the guy standing next to him says to not let them take the ball from him and pass to him. The Rin-looking guy says he knows and passes the ball to this other guy, who laughs in Kira's face. Kira gets mad and says that rushing them one at a time won't work, and he begins forming a strategy. He says to Nagi that he will chase them to narrow down the targets, and then Nagi should predict who to corner, to which Nagi says aye in agreement. Kira then dashes to this another rando, and this actually scares the guy and he gets nervous for a second before just kicking the ball to his left. After that we finally see one of the goats, the one and only Hazime Nishioka, also known as Amori's Messi, and man, when I tell you that I have been glazing this no feats guy since day 1, I mean it. This guy was glazed by the whole community, saying that the World 5 injured him in the match because they feared him, which is just a crazy thing to say. Anyways, let's continue the match. Nishioka says to the previous guy to be more precise with his passes. Suddenly he sees Nagi rushing towards him, and the other guy warns him too, as if Nishioka the goat couldn't see it. We also see another rando guy asking for the pass, while Nagi says that he is gonna take the ball from Nishioka, which is low-key kinda cocky. Suddenly in the next panel we see that Nishioka tried to pass the ball but just rocketed the ball, and when Nagi tried to block the pass, it hits him hard and bounces off his face. The goat Nishioka, though being the kind gentleman he is, immediately apologizes, but Nagi doesn't dare answer him. Anyways, Nagi tells Kira that he managed to corner him, and Kira says good job. Suddenly in the next panel we see that the Dutch League legend Hanaru Shindo traps the ball in the air and says that simply touching the ball is not enough and they have to take possession of the ball to pass. The rest of the cage guys get relieved and thank him, with this one NPC looking shocked as hell. Then we see that the timer has ended and that Nagi and Kira failed to pass the test. The cage guys celebrate, while I could not believe that these 2 actually lost. Anyways, they will get more attempts in the future. Then we see that the next bird is Hanaru Shindo, and the announcer tells him to choose his partner. He then proceeds to yap about this game being the opposite of Ego's philosophy and that this is a team game. Anyways, he says that both Nagi and Kira are exceptional, but after seeing their play he chooses Kira because their synergy will be crazy over the goat Nagi, which is unbelievable cause the most expected guy to win Side B doesn't get chosen. Kira then agrees, and Nagi actually praises Hanaru, saying that this smooth talker is really good while rubbing his broken nose from the previous play. The match begins and Kira and Hanaru begin rushing to the players. The ball lands to this no-name guy, who passes it to his right to this guy, who looks shocked as both Kira and Hanaru are charging up at him. He actually shits himself while Nagi and this NPC from earlier tell him to pass. He rockets the ball but it hits Kira's foot and going in the sky. Kira thinks that he got the ball, but suddenly we see the goat Nagi pull out his iconic air trap, saying he won't let Kira win just yet, but we see Hanaru saying no. Suddenly we see that Hanaru was actually anticipating this trap, which is crazy but also not unbelievable because literally does it every game. Anyways, Hanaru rockets the ball towards poor Nagi's face, which him straight again, like poor guy can't catch a break. We see this one NPC who can't believe it and another NPC who looks visibly worried for Nagi. This dirty Hanaru bastard then says that it's not playing dirty and it's just a strategy to win, which is somewhat understandable as he knew that if he destroys Nagi he wins, but still my goat Nagi didn't deserve that. Hanaru calls them a bunch of mediocrities, which obviously wasn't targeting the goat Nishioka. Anyways, Baratsuda announces that Kira and Hanaru managed to advance as the first of the 3 advancing pairs. Hanaru says that he gets it now and that Kira has got the skills but last time just lost due to bad luck and that blue lock itself is not a big deal. Kira just stays silent and they walk out the door. Nagi then complains that the pummeling by the ball 2 times hurts, which is understandable, and that he is very frustrated. He proceeds to say that if he loses now it will be all over and that this tingly feeling is it, which I am guessing means excitement. The next bird is chosen and told to pick a partner. He obviously picks Nagi, which is the obvious choice except maybe the goat anyways. We then see Nagi super fired up and locked in as he says that this fire is what he wanted and that he is back blue lock, which just insanely hype as the chapter ends. First of all, I wanted to tell you guys that there won't be any break next week. And the next chapter is called Relive. I feel like that the next chapter will also be about Nagi because it is called Relive and Nagi has just gotten fired up, but we could also be continuing from the end of the Japan match. Anyways, I have seen some people say that they don't care about side B, which is understandable because which just finished the hype Blue Lock vs France match and immediately skipped over to side B, but to be honest I really like side B as we go from hype to chill and I have been waiting for the second side B chapter for quite a while now. Anyways, the chapter was pretty good and we also finally got to see Nishioka back, which was pretty hype. Let me know who y'all are cheering for on side B as I would love to hear your takes. And this is actually my first video, so I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel to become an OG. Also let me know which other manga you would like to see explained by me, and I don't have any subscribers so I will almost certainly hear you out and reply to your comment. That's all for this video. See you all in the next one. Peace out.